Hey friends, and welcome back to the Midlife Edit, where midlife isn't a crisis, it's your power move. As always, I'm your host, Jen Weinstein, and today I decided to do what I said I was going to do last week and record this with video. So if you're watching me on YouTube, hello. It's nice for you to watch me, I guess. Like, I would say it's nice to see you, but I can't see you. But anyway, hello. I wanted to make sure that I was uploading not only my interviews, but my solo episodes on YouTube, because why not? The more people we can reach, the better, right? So if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things, share with your friends, because today we're kicking off week 1 of the pre-holiday reset. And I talked about the pre-holiday reset. It's not a challenge. It's not something extra to add to your plate. It's something to help us as women who are used to doing everything for the holidays and getting burnout before they even come. We're just going to reset and we're going to refocus, and we're going to go into this holiday season feeling powerful and strong and happy. Keyword being happy. So let's start week 1 of the pre-holiday reset. And today's focus is one simple but super, super, super powerful word. And that word is nourish. And listen, I know everybody thinks nourish and you automatically think food, right? You always automatically think, what am I putting into my body to nourish my body so that I have energy, or what's not nourishing my body, things like that. And sure, it's about fueling your body. But you know me, I'm going to take it somewhere deeper today, because I feel like nourishing yourself isn't just about what's on your plate or the food that you buy in the grocery store. It's about what's in your mind and in your heart, and the stories that you're telling yourself about who you're allowed to be. And again, I want to focus on that word, the story. Stories that you're telling yourself about who you're allowed to be. And honestly, I mean, why am I talking about it? Because I've been thinking a lot about something. If you've been listening, you know I've been back and forth with sleep. So when I'm up in the middle of the night and I can't go to sleep, my mind starts running, and then I get on these tangents, and one thing goes to another, and it's like a tumbleweed. How I was talking that fast, that's how my mind works when I'm trying to sleep, but something pops up and I think about it. So the word that I've been thinking about a lot lately, or the topic, I guess, is decisiveness. Or more accurately, my complete lack thereof. I am the most indecisive person ever. Ever is such a strong word, but I'm very indecisive. I have been most of my life too. And honestly, if there was a hall of fame for changing your mind, not only would I have my own wing, I think it would be named after me, like the Jen Weinstein's Hall of Indecisiveness. Because listen, I mean, again, if you've been following me on social media or you know me in real life, in the last 3 years alone, I've rebranded more times than the Eras tour, I think, has played concerts, or Taylor's played concerts, I've changed my logo, my colors, my fonts, my pictures, my vibe. Honestly, if Canva offered something like frequent flyer miles, I'd be flying everywhere for free. Because I've gone from being a fitness and nutrition coach to launching a podcast to building the Midlife Edit Co. And as this brand gets bigger and bigger, and it blends with fitness and mindset and mental health and music and amazing guests, I thought, why do I have to pick one passion when I can spin a whole entire damn playlist out of it, right? And for the longest time, and honestly, there's that part of me, that little part in the back of my head that still says this, but for the longest time, I thought that shit like this made me flaky, like unreliable almost, like I was unfocused and maybe even just a little lost, and I didn't know what I wanted out of life. But lately, I'm seeing it differently. And it's because of this platform that I have. And it's because of all of you out there. It's because of all the conversations that I'm having with people and how my life is evolving and how I'm editing, right? Because I used to think this, and society tells us that indecision is a weakness. Like if you can't pick one lane and stay in it forever, you're somehow failing at adulthood, at life, at just being a human. But now, when I think about it, and I was journaling about it, and literally like all day yesterday, I'm thinking, okay, like we're in week 1 and we're going to talk about nourishing, but really what really is inside that is really bothering me? And I know that there are other people out there who are just like me. So, let's talk about this indecisiveness, because I think indecision is just another word for evolution. Every time I've changed directions, whether it's been this brand, going from, I think I started out with genuine coaching to the Jen Weinstein, just using my name as the brand, into the Midlife Edit, and now into the Midlife Edit Co. Or my job, careers, right? I was in the restaurant business for a very long time. And then, I went to, I think I've done pretty much everything. I was a dialysis tech for a while. I was in property management. I became a real estate agent. Now I work for an amazing company on the title side of real estate. But I I told you I wanted to be Jem when I grew up. I was never one of those kids who was, oh, I want to be a teacher or I want to be an astronaut. No, I wanted to be Jem. I couldn't be a cartoon, right? I mean, sometimes I think I act like a cartoon, but so I've changed jobs, right? My hair color. I think it was probably 7th or 8th grade when I started dyeing my hair, and I've been, all of the quote unquote natural colors, all of it. But every time I change, every time I shift focus, another thing is workouts. I mean, I've done everything. I've done CrossFit and spin class and Pilates and yoga and all of the things. I change my mind a lot. I do. But every time I change or I make that pivot, it's really just editing, trying something new, learning what doesn't fit for me. And that's what midlife is, right? It's one big, beautiful edit. Figuring out what doesn't serve you, what doesn't fit, and editing it to figure out what you want and how happy you can be when you're not doing X, Y, or Z and you start doing A, B, and C, right? We don't have to stay loyal to the old versions of ourselves just because somebody, a parent, a friend, a sibling, a partner, society, told us that we should just stick with it. I mean, I talk a lot about the generation we grew up in, but let's talk about the generation before us. Our parents. Our parents were always raised by, the Great Depression generation who says if you have a job, you go to that job every day for the next 30 years and that's what you do, and then you retire and then that's it. And you know what? You know why I'm so damn proud of our generation? Because we're not doing that. We aren't, and I don't want to say we're not staying loyal because I don't think it's about loyalty. I think it's about being loyal. Actually, it's about being loyal to ourselves, right? And to how we feel. And so now, and I know I'm going off topic a little bit here, but I know a lot of people in multiple different business worlds who interview people all the time, and now they're looking at resumes. And if you've been at one place for 30 years, that really doesn't bode well for you when you're interviewing for new jobs because you're not learning things from a bunch of other people. So that makes me feel good too, right? But listen, again, we don't have to stay loyal to an old version of ourselves just because somebody tells us to. Sometimes letting go of what's not working is the most nourishing thing that you can do for yourself. I wish that I would have thought about this sooner. Not that I didn't make the decisions to change and pivot a lot in my life, because I absolutely have. Ask anybody that knows me, starting from my family to my husband and all the in-betweens. I changed my mind a lot. Okay. But if I would have thought about it this way, I don't think I would have been as hard on myself as, for the last 20 years. Because I do get hard on myself because I think a lot about, oh my gosh, what are other people going to think about me? You know what the most beautiful thing is in midlife about being 42 right now? I don't give a shit. I truly don't. All of the time. Sometimes I do. I'm human, right? But I'm making decisions for me. Okay. So again, sometimes letting go of what's not working is the most nourishing thing that you can do for yourself. And I'm going to move on to a topic that I know this word and this diagnosis gets thrown out a lot, especially, on TikTok now, and everybody's self-diagnosis, diagnostics, whatever. You know what I'm saying. But like, everybody's a doctor on TikTok, right? But let's talk about ADHD, because once I was actually clinically diagnosed with ADHD, everything started to make sense for me. No wonder I was doing X, Y, and Z, or, oh, that's why I get angry at A, B, and C. I'm telling you, it was the best diagnosis I ever got because I felt okay. And honestly, I just got this diagnosis less than 2 years ago. But all of this isn't just about personal growth, right? Some of this, it's just my brain chemistry. And I'm not saying, and I'm not blaming it, and I take ownership of every decision that I've made and every change that I've made, but it makes sense now, right? So ADHD plus perimenopause is like having 1,000 browser tabs open and somebody keeps playing music, but I can't figure out which tab it's coming from. Does that make sense? And if you work from home or work a desk job, and you have multiple monitors, like I have 3, and you know how easily it is to have a gazillion browser tabs open. And I'm so bad at it because that's just what I do. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like scroll, 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 right? But that's how my head is. And I can go from being super laser focused to, oh my God, I'm going to rebrand my entire business at 2 a.m. Listen, last night, like, I am an early bed person. It's embarrassing or not, it's what we do in my house. My husband and I, we're in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock every night. But yesterday, it was a Saturday, and he had to work, and I had the entire day to myself. Crazy, right? And I was doing things that made me feel good. Cleaning my house and taking some, I started watching Nobody Wants This. I only got the first episode for this on the second season, so please no spoilers, but I started doing things that I wanted to do for me. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I've been saying that I've been writing blog posts. I just haven't been posting them. I've been saying forever now, I want to get my blog posts up on my website. So that was my hyperfixation yesterday. And when I started it, I just couldn't stop. It was that thing where I went laser focused, and it was 11:30 till I went to bed, which is so not like me. So that's the chaos that goes in my head. But you know what? That chaos has creativity hidden inside of it. And I've learned that the reason I keep changing things isn't because I can't commit, but it's because I'm curious and I see all these possibilities everywhere. And that's not indecision, you guys. That's imagination. And I don't care if somebody wants to judge me for changing my mind on this small but mighty business that I'm running, my quote unquote side hustle that has fueled me so much and made me so happy. I don't care if you've seen me from the beginning and you're sitting there saying, oh, here she goes again. You want to know why? Because I had the balls to do it. I had the balls to do this. And I'm proud of myself for that. And it's just something that, like, again, it's so freeing to think about, is it's okay that I've changed my mind. And I'm curious about things. And I will tell you, if you are somebody out there who has wanted to start a podcast or a side hustle or wanted to build a brand, don't come to me for advice, because obviously I've changed my mind 110 times. But if you want to do that, you can come to me for encouragement, because I encourage myself every day. So here's the part that really gets me. And listen, I know that there are a few men that listen to my podcast. Guys, we as women, we get such a bad fucking rap for a lot of things that you do as men that are looked at like heroes. When men pivot, they're visionaries, right? Oh my gosh, they had so much courage to change this, or look at them go. But when we change our minds, we're called flaky or emotional, or their hormones must be all over the place. And you know what? It's okay that our hormones are all over the place, and it's okay that we're emotional and flaky, because that's who we are. But it's not okay to put us down for it. And here's the truth: changing your mind is strength. It is strength. It's self-awareness. It's the courage, the balls to say, it doesn't fit me anymore. And that's okay. Especially in midlife, because everything is changing, right? Our hormones are changing. Our identities are shifting. Our lives are changing. If you're a mom and you're going through this midlife time and your kids are getting older, parenting is changing, because you're not parenting your 20-year-old the same way you parented them when you were 10, right? And nobody tells you how fucking hard it is to be the mom of an adult. It's hard, guys, because you're not used to it. You're not used to telling them something and them not doing it, because they're evolving and they're editing and they're figuring themselves out. Again, another little tangent, but everything's changing, right? Our identities are shifting. Our looks are changing. Our bodies are changing physically. You can see it mentally. It's crazy, but it's normal. It's normal to evolve. And it's not instability, it's intelligence, because we are fucking smart human beings. Women are smart and strong, and hell yes, we're indecisive sometimes, but do you know why? Do you know why when you ask your husband to plan a date night and he says, well, why can't you just make a decision? Guys, if you're listening out there, do you know why we can't just make a decision? Because all day, every day, we're making decisions for other people. We're making decisions on what to get to the grocery store, or when to put the laundry in, or when to schedule that meeting at work, or when to buy the gift, or go see your parents, or whatever it is. We're making decisions all day long for other people, and we have decision fatigue. We absolutely have it. So, men, if you're listening and your wife or your partner asks you to plan a date night, just fucking plan it. Get on TikTok, get on Pinterest, figure it out, but plan it for her. Listen, though, again, another tangent, and I'm not even sorry, but when all of this is happening and we're evolving, again, it's not instability, it's intelligence, and we're not lost. We're learning. We're learning about ourselves. We're learning about how other people are reacting to us and how they really feel about the things that we do. And that's not a negative thing, right? Again, with this platform that I have had so many people that I haven't talked to in years, or maybe at all, reach out to me. And I'm like, holy shit, you're listening. Thank you. It means the world to me. But if an episode like this can just give somebody that okay to go ahead and shift and change their mind, I've won. So here's my plot twist for today. Despite all of my pivots, there's one thing that I've stayed completely consistent with. And you know what that is? It's the one thing that 3 years ago, oh, I might get emotional and I'm sorry, that 3 years ago I put on my vision board. And it's the last thing that I got to check off my vision board. And that's this podcast. The Midlife Edit has been the most consistent thing I've ever done. And it's the first thing that I've done for me. Truly for me. Truly because I was passionate about it. And there are days where I didn't want to record, and there are days I thought, well, who am I to do this? Is anybody even listening? And then I thought, you know what? Fuck you, Jen. Of course they are. And if they're not, you're listening to you. I have fallen in love with this process, though. Hitting record, sitting here with you, having real conversations about the messy, beautiful in-betweens of midlife. I've met so many amazing people, whether it is just through social media or the people that I've interviewed. Guys, I had the lead singer of a famous band on my podcast. Who am I? This is amazing. And it is the most consistent thing I've ever done. So do you know what that means? That means that it makes me happy. This podcast isn't just part of my brand, it's part of my nourishment. It's what fuels me. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me honest. And it reminds me every single week why I started all of this in the first place. I wanted to create connection. I wanted to laugh, to grow, and to remind every woman listening it's okay to be figuring it out as you go because we all are. So here's what I've learned. Every time I change my mind, it's because I was hungry for something deeper, because I knew that there was more out there for me. Hungry for alignment or meaning, hungry for joy and happiness. And that's nourishment too. It's not indecision, it's self-discovery. It's learning to trust yourself enough to say, that worked for me once, but it doesn't anymore. And that's a skill, guys. That's growth. That's what midlife is all about. And you know that I've got to tie it back to music. And that's something too that I don't want to say I've been indecisive on, because I love music, but I don't have just one genre that I listen to. Absolutely my favorite band of all time is Dave Matthews Band, but there are days where I don't listen to Dave. There are days where something else is, the music that fuels me that day. And you know how in music artists rework songs when they play them live. And I just did a video about this yesterday, about live music and how if you're one of those people who aren't a fan of listening to a live album, let's have a conversation. But honestly, try it again. Because sure, same lyrics, but completely different energy. And sometimes it's fun energy. And sometimes you can feel the band having so much fun. Sometimes it's nostalgic. Sometimes it's sad. But it's different. And that's what we're doing in midlife. We're taking the same song or our same story, and we're performing it with everything we've learned, felt, survived, everything that we've done along the way. So maybe we're not indecisive after all. Maybe we're just remixing. And even just doing this episode and talking about it has made me feel better. Because honestly, I've gotten made fun of a lot for my indecisiveness. Or not even just made fun of, but like put down. And I feel like, I guess I actually, you know what it is? I feel like I was never understood. And listen, if you're my family and you're listening right now, no offense to you, but I feel like I was never understood. Why does Jen keep changing? Because I didn't know who I was. Why did I stop dating this person or start this new career or change my mind on where I want to live or how I want to dress or what color my hair is? Because I didn't know who I was and I was figuring it out. And you know what? I had the courage to do that. I had the courage to stop when something wasn't working for me anymore. Whew, that got real deep real quick, huh? Listen though, this is me giving you permission to change. This week, as you dive into this first week of the pre-holiday reset, if you've signed up for it, and when I say signed up for it, it's just signing up for my newsletter. So please do it, because there's some fun stuff in there, and you can always unsubscribe. I hope you don't, but you can always unsubscribe. But this is part of my community, right? So this first week of the pre-holiday reset, I want you to nourish more than your body. And I will send out some recipes that I've been working on and eating and doing, because I've talked about the stomach issues that I've been having, and I've been really watching what I eat, and I've made some really delicious recipes. So I'm going to share this with you. But listen, I want you to nourish more than just your body. Don't focus on the number on the scale or the number of calories that you're eating. Focus on how you feel. But also, I want you to nourish your evolution. Change your mind if you need to. Start over if you have to. Rebrand your life for the 150th time. If that's what keeps you growing, that's what keeps you sane, that's what keeps you happy, fucking do it. Because the truth is, you don't owe the world the same version of you forever. You don't. You owe yourself the chance to evolve. You owe yourself the chance to change. You owe yourself the chance to figure out who the fuck you are now. So that's your permission. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for supporting me in this journey. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. We're going to keep rewriting the rules of midlife, one edit at a time. Until then, take care of yourself. Change your mind as many times as it feels right. And as always, let's make it a damn good chapter. Have a great day, everybody. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter, and we'll see you next week.